All right. This is an interview with the wonderful people of Louisville Tea Company, Sophia and Sarah.
Hello.
Hello.
So why don't we actually talk for a minute so that the woman transcribing this can get a little used to everybody's voice?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
she knows my voice.
We know Russell.
All right, Sarah, why don't you talk for a minute?
This is Sarah Boese, manager and partial owner of Louisville Tea Company.
And then this is Sophia Boese, also manager and also possible owner of the Louisville Tea Company.
All right, terrific. Thanks so much for getting together with me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've been so looking forward to this for so long. Like I for whatever reason, like when I'm done with one interview, I get like the daemon or the inspiration about who the next one is. And as soon as I did the last one, I was like, the Louisville Tea Company.
We know where we're going next.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We're so happy we can do
I
this
know
with
where
ya.
I know where the tour is going. All right.
I'm glad you had interest.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's hit the important stuff first.
Yes.
Just give me your honest view. Can you really live a good, ethical, worthwhile, decent, law-abiding life without tea?
Objectively, yes.
I was going to say, I think yes. Personally, I do think my life is better with tea in it. I don't know, for a lot of reasons. I enjoy tea. I enjoy the way it affects me, caffeine-wise, the rituals of making it.
I don't know, just like the cultural experience of having tea. It's a really fun way to interact with like other cultures too.
Yeah.
And be like, I don't know, I really like learning more about like how the Japanese drink tea and how like the Chinese drink tea and being able to integrate that into like my day-to-day life. And then also just bring some of their like just practices into my life outside of tea, which is really nice.
And there is so many different traditions, and there's even like contradicting traditions within different countries.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun
really
to
nice.
learn about.
If I recall correctly, with tea sets in China, having an odd number is considered good luck, whereas like an even number of cups is bad luck.
Huh.
But you'll see different things in different places.
Huh. So wait, let's go into that for just a second. You mentioned like different cultures and even things that aren't necessarily tea related that you've incorporated into your own life or living or ritual. Tell me about a couple of those things.
So my favorite one is actually the Japanese culture of like how they prepare their tea, as they just sit down and have a full moment with their tea. And I like to integrate that into other parts of my life of I'm going to fully embrace this one thing for this time period and give it the respect that it deserves.
And with a lot of people getting into loose leaf tea for the first time, they can be like, oh, it's so intimidating, it's so much work, it's so many steps. But that's kind of part of why I like it sometimes, is having the multiple steps to it, because you can take your time to just like, breathe and only focus on this and nothing else.
I totally agree. Like half the fun is the ritual of it.
Yeah.
All the steps.
Waiting for the water,
waiting
like
for the
actually
water.
pouring your tea.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly right. Are there any other instances you can point to? I'm just like curious myself.
Totally. One of the things I always like to mention is I'm not to be like the biggest fan of meditation. So I feel like drinking tea and the ritual is my version of meditation and fun stuff
Where
like
it's
that.
just like you can actually clear your mind and just focus on
have
it.
a think moment of it.
Not so much like a tradition or a ritual or anything, but I do just love the feeling of having a warm cup of tea in your hands. Like it's just very relaxing, and like sipping that warm tea and feeling it in your belly before you go to bed.
Yeah.
It's very comforting.
And I know this is a big thing in Chinese culture. It's also a big thing in a few other things. But the culture of like whenever you break a teacup and then you're involved with the glass. With the gold.
Yeah, in Japan. It's Tsurugi?
Yeah.
That might be wrong. It starts with a K.
So a friend of mine just wrote an article about this.
Yeah.
Tom White just wrote about this, about the sort of the repairs.
Yeah, so
and how it
mending
becomes even more
ceramics with
beautiful.
golden veins.
Yeah.
I've also seen it used in like jewelry and stuff, but traditionally it is with like ceramics,
cool.
teapots and stuff.
But
It just makes it more beautiful than it even was before.
Yeah.
The mentality of something broken can become so much more beautiful is a really nice mentality to carry throughout life.
Yeah.
But then, in the vein of like contradictions, in a lot of there we go.
Thank you.
Did I get the right word?
It's always my
Kintsugi?
pronunciation that's
Kintsugi.
wrong.
There we go. There's an
Nice.
N in there I missed. But as far as like contradictions go, in Korean culture, drinking from a cracked or chipped cup is actually bad luck. It's like letting like bad spirits into your life. Like you're not supposed to do that. I've had some people ask me before to make sure I don't use anything that might have a little bit of a crack in it.
Oh,
and I'm
interesting.
like,
Yeah.
absolutely, we'll respect that.
Oh,
Whatever
very
makes
cool.
you more comfortable.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Just personally, how come you mentioned a little bit the warmth and so on, but tell me personally, why do you drink tea?
I've always been a big part of my life. My whole family has drank tea, so I was just born into it, so to say. But why I still drink tea is, first of all, the caffeine. It is amazing. I do love caffeine on that aspect. But also, it is mostly just, it gives me something to drink. I like having different drinks all around. Water gets boring sometimes, so having to be able to have fun beverages is a really good way to do it.
I would call you a beverage girly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say I live in the same vein.
Yeah.
I grew up with my mom always liking unsweet iced tea with lemon, no matter where we were, everywhere we went.
Yeah.
And then as a teenager, Soph was already into tea. Nicolette was already very into tea.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that first got me to taste it and realize, like, oh, this doesn't need to have stuff added to it.
Yeah.
There's some really tasty stuff on its own. But as a teenager, I drank a lot of coffee, drank a lot of energy drinks. My caffeine tolerance was way different than it is nowadays.
Yeah.
Whereas as it is now as a 25-year-old, I cannot have caffeine after 6 p.m. if I don't want to feel it, like when I'm trying to go to sleep. And honestly, my black tea cutoff is like 4 p.m., so it's even earlier.
I love it.
Like, yeah.
Like 4 p.m. Mine's like noon.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll get there, it's okay.
Totally. Oh, man.
But yeah, no, I like the wide variety with tea. I meet a lot of people that are like, oh, I just don't like tea.
Yeah.
And I think there is so many different kinds. We normally have 160 to 200 different kinds that I'm like, there's going to be something you enjoy.
Yeah. And those people should be eradicated, right?
Not necessarily. You're allowed to not like things.
Yeah,
Okay.
to each their own. But I do think if you're open to it and willing to give it a try, you'd find something you enjoy, even if it is just like a chai latte.
Okay, look, it's one thing from enjoying tea,
Yes.
even one thing from enjoying the ritual of the tea or the sort of life-giving aspect of the ritual
Absolutely.
to like owning and running a tea shop. Yes. Tell me how this got started and why you all are involved.
Yeah. So my sister actually used to work at a tea shop in Arizona. And then when she moved here, she realized that there was no tea shops in this area. And then I would come visit and we would just be in desperate need of tea. And we're like, there is no tea
I know.
here.
Sophia would be coming from Arizona, tasked to bring tea from the tea shop Nicolette used to work at.
Yeah, we needed tea here. So then Nick and Nicolette just decided to open up a tea business. And I just really liked that idea. So after I graduated high school, I decided to come and join them. And then Sarah followed suit soon after.
Because the business has been open for 11 years now.
Okay.
Soph officially moved here 7 years ago.
Yep.
I've been here for 6 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, we weren't the original owners, but we are now.
Wow.
So it is still split between all four of us.
Yeah, very cool. And I don't know why this made me think of this, but tell me about the bubble or baba tea phenomenon.
Boba?
Boba, baba, what?
When you're reading it, I talk.
Do you like it?
I love boba.
Yeah,
You do? Okay, all right.
I think it's really good. We get boba together a lot.
Okay.
Yes, we do
Yeah.
not serve boba because it's just not something we
Yeah, I mean, it's-
currently are set up for.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan since before I even came here.
Okay.
As a little kid, my favorite pudding was tapioca, and it still is, which I realize it's the old person pudding, but whatever. I always liked it.
I mean, pudding is the old people's pudding.
Yeah.
It's like another layer up.
But boba, you'll see a lot is like a milk tea. So
Yeah,
you'll have a
right.
dark tea base with milk and sugar, and then large tapioca pearls.
Yeah.
Normally with like brown sugar or something in them.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like my kids are like, take me to the baba tea.
Have you ever had it?
I have taken sips of theirs.
Yeah.
It's not.
The texture you're not a fan of?
I think it is the texture. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
that's
my,
a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'll say that's what does it for them or doesn't do it for them.
I know. I find it really funny because whenever we do get boba, my drinks tend not to even have tea in them. I just always, I get lemonades with fun things in them just because they're tasty.
Mine tend to be closer to milkshakes.
Yeah. But yeah, we definitely love boba and
Yeah.
people who
And
like
when we
it.
go there, we get stuff that is so different from what we serve here.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah, it's very different than what you guys have, and
We're different niches, you know?
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that.
This is a little bit of a tangent, when we first opened, rather than having all of this retail,
Yeah.
we were just a bunch of tables.
Oh, okay.
So it was more
Oh.
focused on just somewhere to sit and have tea, like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had scones, but that
We had a couch here at one point.
yeah, and honestly,
Oh, that's cool.
it just, this lower bar wasn't here, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, but it just didn't bring in a whole lot of revenue, and we were still new, we didn't have a known customer base,
Yeah.
so we did shift to having a lot more of the retail and the teaware items, because we did realize no one was really fulfilling that niche here.
Yeah,
if people
totally,
wanted
yeah.
stuff, they had to buy it online.
Yeah.
So that's why we do focus so much on that, and like why half of what we are now is essentially a gift shop. I have a lot of regulars that I only see around the holidays because they're buying gifts for people. They're not even tea people themselves.
Oh, fair. Okay, yeah. So what are your all's favorite teas?
Ooh.
I am a big traditional person. I used to be a lot more into flavored teas, but nowadays I feel like I mostly drink traditional teas.
When you say traditional, what's that mean? Black tea?
Black teas, white teas, anything that doesn't have anything added into it.
So like no fruit or flowers or things
Traditional teas tend to be just the tea leaves from the plants.
You are familiar with, or if you ever see the way our menu is laid out, the first couple pages are just titled traditional. So it means it's just the straight tea leaf, nothing else. On our next pages is going to be flavored, which can be a wide array of things. It means it has like herbs or like orange peel, spices, fruit mixed in.
Anything with added flavor into it tends to be in the flavor page. And that's what most people get into tea. Again, there's no wrong way to drink tea.
The very first tea from here that I had was bourbon cream, which is a very rich, like cocoa heavy black tea.
Okay.
But nowadays it's a little sweet for my current palate. I drink a lot of the peaches and cream actually, which is a peach vanilla black tea, which I find interesting because when it's hot, it's very like heavier on the vanilla, and when it's iced, it's a little more peachy, a little more refreshing.
Yeah, well,
which so I'm a big iced tea drinker, so I love noticing the differences on how it tastes iced versus hot.
Yeah.
But as far as favorite teas go, I do drink a lot of the peaches and cream. I also like the black pearl, which is a traditional dark oolong with undertones of apples and honey. I really like that one because it's a tea that can be re-steeped, so you can use the leaves more than once. They're actually like a rolled leaf.
Yeah.
So each time you brew it, it unrolls a little bit more, and you get a slightly different taste.
Yeah.
But you can get a lot out of
so you mentioned oolong.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about you mentioned like traditional versus flavored and so on. But talk to me about different types of tea, black and oolong and green and all that stuff, because
Ooh, I love
for
this.
all the years that I've been here, I don't get it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, that is definitely one of the, like, intro tea things.
So first things first, all tea comes from the exact same plant.
Yes. Do you want to be fancy? It's the Camellia sensis plant.
Yeah, that's the Latin name.
All right.
But so all tea comes from the exact same plant. And what makes it different types of tea is how it's processed after it's picked, or like when it's picked within the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
White teas are the lightest of the teas, so they tend to be the first picked and the least processed of the teas.
Okay.
Black teas tend to be like the last picked and then go through more
The most
oxidization.
Yeah. White tea is basically picked and almost immediately dried.
Yep.
Whereas black tea goes through 100% oxidization.
What's that mean?
Oxidization, it's really just having it exposed to the air.
Yeah.
It can mean roughing up the leaves a little bit. But with black tea, it makes it a lot darker, makes it the most caffeinated. It can also make it more bitter.
And that's also where, like, the color of the tea's in. Like, you can see I'm drinking a white tea right now. You can see that, like, it's a lot lighter in color than, like,
compared
a black
to
tea
this
would
black
be.
tea.
Yeah, black tea. You're like this black tea.
I'm good at photo op, I know.
Coming back over for this one.
Sweet.
But yeah, so the color of the tea really affects, the process of the tea really affects the color
And
of the tea.
if one of the quickest, easiest ways I like to explain it is looking at it on a scale.
Okay.
So black tea is your strongest, it's your darkest, it's your most caffeinated.
Okay.
Below that, you'll have oolong, which the black tea gets oxidized 100%. The oolong can be anywhere from 70 to 30%.
Okay.
So that's where you get dark oolongs versus light oolongs.
Okay.
Below that is going to be green tea, oxidized at about 20%, and then white tea, which doesn't really get any oxidization.
And then pu'er is also
special.
Is also special, but pu'er is fermented, so it goes through a different process than the other teas do.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why pu'er is so earthy and dark, because it has that fermentation process.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But the fermentation also makes it really good for your digestive system.
Yeah.
So if you want something to help with gut health, we recommend pu'er.
If you got like a tummy ache, it's the tea we recommend for you.
It can be a bit of an acquired taste because it is so earthy and so dark, but it's not too heavy in caffeine.
Yeah.
Right. And so what about green tea? And not green tea, matcha tea.
Matcha. So matcha is just part of green tea.
Okay.
Matcha is Japanese green tea that has been ground up into a fine powder. And unlike most teas where you brew it, you strain the leaves out, the powder is actually dissolved into your water and you drink it whole.
That's actually why it's so caffeinated.
That's why it's so caffeinated, because you're getting all your green tea benefits, but at a higher level.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you see it mentioned in a lot of health articles.
Are there any other kind of big categories or types of tea we haven't talked about?
There is niche ones. There's like yellow tea, there's purple tea, there's dark tea.
Okay.
But, like, those ones that get really niche, and we tend not to have those, like, in our personal shop.
Yeah.
Like, we have a purple tea, but most purple and yellow teas can honestly just be categorized as a type of green tea.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they are a lot more rare. With our rare tea sampler or limited tea selection, that's normally going to be the only place yellow tea in our shop.
Yeah. And then dark tea is basically like a fancy puer. So, like, it also has the fermentation. It just goes through slightly different processes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned all tea comes from one plant.
Yeah.
Talk to me about different regions, because I've seen in the shop like India,
Yes.
China,
Totally.
Japan.
All same plants, different regions. It all just depends on how the soil is about how, like, the tea also tastes. Because
Okay.
Japanese tea doesn't taste anything like Chinese tea, and that's because of how the ground is.
It'll be like soil, weather, because the same tea can vary from year to year based
yeah.
on how the weather is.
Yeah.
So that's why the same thing grown in a different region is going to be different. An interesting example of this is we have our Sencha High Grade, which is a Japanese green tea,
Okay.
and we have our Gyokuru, which is another Japanese green tea. They are exactly the same, except the Gyokuru is grown on the side of a mountain in the shade. So it has to fight a little harder to survive.
Yeah.
And it gives it much more intense, deep flavor.
Huh.
You can even see it in the color. It's more of an emerald green,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
what
yeah.
its name actually means.
And that's one of the funny things we say about tea sometimes, is the harder the plant has to work, the better the tea normally is.
Suffer for us.
Exactly. So
Suffer.
if it's, like, struggling to grow in the shade, it gets, like, a lot more depth of flavor. There's a lot of teas that, like, are specifically grown on, like, rocky mountains that I'll have, ooh, this tastes really different.
We had one tea. It was a purple tea called Purple Wild Buds because it was
Yeah.
actually picked wild. It had a really unique, nutty flavor to it, and even the shape of the leaves was different.
And tea is pretty picky on what type of weather it likes as well. So it likes pretty damp, but not too damp. Normally, if an area can grow rice, they can grow tea.
Oh,
So there are
okay.
a few places in America that grow tea too.
Yeah.
South Carolina has one that in
It's-
Charleston.
yeah.
We actually have this right here.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we actually visited there last year.
Yeah, last year.
So we were there last year in July, which is their picking season.
Okay.
And they have the oldest tea plants in the country.
Yeah, okay. Huh.
Theirs is a crossbreed of Indian and Chinese plants.
Yep.
And it was also abandoned at one point, so it had a little bit of hybrid, random crossbreeding that
Oh,
happened.
interesting. Huh.
Which actually makes it a lot more fun and interesting to taste.
It does, yeah.
If
But
tea's grown in too stale of an environment, you're like, this tastes weird.
Yeah.
the amount of harvest you get per year is normally going to be weather dependent. Really heavy on like how many inches of rain you get.
So like most crops.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It is a plant after
Yeah,
all.
sure,
The standard is like 3 harvests per year.
I think so, yeah.
And if you've
Oh,
ever
really?
heard the term, it just means it's the first pick of the season.
Okay.
It tends to have some of the most delicate, high quality taste.
And is that in spring? When is that?
Yes, right.
So spring, and then
Spring.
there's one in summer, and then there's one in fall.
Basically. It's
It
like late
varies.
summer more than fall.
Summer
Okay.
is like the general picking time,
Okay.
but
All right.
it'll
So-
vary.
oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. You all have a really cool kind of holiday gift pack. I can't remember, like
Yeah.
the exceptionally rare.
Yeah.
I don't think I have an example of it,
Talk
but the
to
book
me.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Talk to me about how you put that together. Like why you pick those teas, how you think about that process, like what you want people to get out of that. Like what why those teas versus any others that exist in the world or you could get.
Yeah, totally. So we mostly find those teas from a tea convention that's like a worldwide tea expo. So it's very big. There's a lot of people there. It's
And-
very fancy.
And I have not been invited.
You cannot
Why?
go because it's only a business thing. I'm so sorry.
It is exclusive to people in the business.
Yeah.
I have an LLC. I could be in the business.
You gotta sign up.
I'm
you wanna
interviewing
apply
people
for it?
about
That is
how am I
up to
not-
you.
I'm a journalist in the business. How am I not in the business?
I don't know what their press stance
Golly.
is.
Yeah,
Hey.
honestly,
Be
you
real.
can try to look into it. It's the World Tea Expo. It happens in Las Vegas every year. It is
World-
very fun to go.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
go for it. Actually, the last couple of years, they did a lot of their classes online.
Yeah.
But I would say a lot of what the expo is focused on is getting new teas or new retail products
Okay.
to sellers.
Okay.
And like, there's a really big showroom at like in the area
yeah.
that you can walk around and taste a bunch of teas
Yeah,
and
yeah.
interact with a lot of
Yeah,
people.
yeah, okay.
And then there's of course classes which can focus on a lot of different things like tea mixing or
Yeah.
tasting notes. I had one class that had a like wine sommelier.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
who was
yeah.
like basically talking about how tea and wine have a lot of the same tasting notes and
Yeah,
using
yeah.
a lot of the same language.
Yeah.
I do
Huh.
find being here in Louisville, I get people who know a lot about alcohol and a lot about alcohol tasting, and then I can say certain words to them and it makes sense to them. Like with traditional teas, since they are just straight teas, you have to describe them based on their undertones. Okay. So I can say this kind of has a cocoa note to it. There's no chocolate in it, but their undertone is cocoa. That's how you differentiate it.
Yeah, interesting.
And
okay.
Someone with experience with that, it's normally a lot easier to get them on board with that description.
Okay, so I diverted us from the question.
Yeah, sorry, back to the exceptional tea.
But that's normally how we end up finding those teas.
Okay.
And that is a big one. Another one is just getting samples from our suppliers. Yeah. Specifically for the exceptionally rare sampler, which is the holiday one you're speaking of. Yeah. The main focus with how we select those teas is we want to get really rare, really high quality teas we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. And getting the 6 of them in one sampler normally means we can have them at a more approachable price range than if we had just brought one of those teas in by itself. Okay. I think that is the only time we've had yellow teas is in the sampler.
Because yellow tea...
that's the only time I can remember.
Yeah, because yellow tea tends to be a very high price point, and it's just not an approachable price point for people just looking at our menu. And we realize that, so we try to make it approachable by putting it in the sampler, so the people who want to taste these like super fancy teas have a way to do that.
Interesting. Okay. Huh. Wait, going back to the notion of having a wine sommelier at these classes and so on. So I've got... For years, a friend of mine just knows I love tea. I actually put on a tea one year for like my mom. Actually, I came here for your all's teas.
Yeah.
For an afternoon tea for my mom's friends, and she was there. She keeps telling me, Russell, you need to become a Japanese tea master. And I'm pretty sure there is no such thing, but I want to hear from you. Is there such a thing? Can I become one? And what do you know?
Okay, so no, you can't become one.
There is special stuff where you can be certified to do certain things, especially in Japan.
And like, what does certain things mean?
Okay, so we talked about matcha a bit, right?
Yeah.
With matcha in Japan, there is actually ceremonies around it that are very particular. There's different levels of how particular. Okay. But you can get an official certification
to be allowed to
be able to do them and do them traditionally and officially. And they can get as fancy as... If you're going to be part of the ceremony, you're not supposed to have eaten or drinking anything beforehand. You're not supposed to talk during the whole thing. It can vary.
Yeah. And like these ceremonies at minimum take at least an hour. And sometimes they can take 7 hours, depending on how many people are.
So there is specific stuff like that.
Yeah. But there's nothing as you can just be like, I know tea, a lot of people come in and be like, can I become a tea sommelier? That's not a thing. But you can be certified for certain practices of tea. It all just depends on the culture that you're picking too.
One of the main reasons with that class that we were actually working with a wine person is we were talking about how getting tea into restaurants, because it can be hard sometimes, especially with loose leaf tea, to get a restaurant to commit to commit to doing that new process, because it's like, oh, someone orders a drink, we have to do all of this and it has to sit for 3 minutes before we can even get it out to them. But if you have a wine person, they're normally the people advocating to get it in because they know what to do, or they're like more willing to commit to the process or teach that process.
So are there restaurants like with loose leaf tea? I always see with the bag tea. I have ever seen.
We actually currently work with a few different restaurants, a few different coffee shops and breweries here in town. What was the new
1020 actually? They they carry our tea.
Okay, cool.
1020 Craft Brewery. They have a whole lovely little selection of our tea.
Yeah.
All right, I can become a tea master. And is that because I'm not Japanese?
Non-Japanese people can become a tea master. You just also have to like live in Japan for a while to do it.
This is a post-COVID world.
Like, that's true.
If I remember correctly, I don't think there is any just official title of tea master.
Yes.
You're saying I could make it up and I could become the tea master.
You can absolutely lie to people about this. Yes.
I don't know how people will respect that, but
it's going to be on his resume.
Yeah, there we go.
But to learn something, you do it. I should just be a tea master.
Like, I've worked here for 7 plus years, honestly, and I would not consider myself a tea master. I know so much about tea.
So it's a long road to hoe.
It's a long road, and it's gonna be like like, you're gonna have to be in books for years.
I feel like I'd
never
have to
mind,
have
never
so much confidence to say that too, because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
of
fair,
the
yeah.
mindset that there is always more to learn.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, fair
yeah.
point, yeah, right.
And there is always more new information coming out. Like, the idea of matcha having all these health benefits in just the Western world is a bit of a newer thing. New articles about it all the time. New health information and studies on the health benefits of different herbs and teas constantly coming
But also,
out.
America is, I don't want to say it's not a ritualistic society. That's not right.
It's a
not
little more
a-
fast-paced.
Yeah, it's not a ceremonial society.
Yes.
Yeah.
The idea to just sit down and do a whole thing, focus
So-
only on tea for an hour, that would blow
It's-
people's minds.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know what to do.
It's funny that you say in a post-COVID world, because we noticed in 2020 and since then, there has been a major uptick in people interested in tea sets. Like, people got more, maybe just because they were at home more, they got a little more interested in making it more of a ceremony,
Yeah.
a little more of a process,
Totally,
taking the
man.
time
Yeah,
with it.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it really made people slow down a bit and appreciate the small things in life, I've noticed.
But that being
Yeah.
said, in 2019, when I was at the expo, we were looking at stats, and the U.S., as far as tea consumption goes, was mostly into ready-made drinks.
Yeah.
So they were a lot more likely to buy bottled, pre-made tea than they were to get even
Like
tea
McDonald's
bags.
sweet tea.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And honestly, that was a big trend in China and Japan too recently.
Yeah.
Of bottled tea that you just buy at the convenience store, grocery
You
stores
saw
and
that a
stuff
lot
like
with
that.
Japan, that villages who for generations had focused on growing and picking tea,
Uh-huh.
the younger generation was no longer interested in being a part of that. They cared more about boba or more about those fun pre-made stuff.
Like
And-
Lipton, brisk iced tea.
Not so much that.
American
Still a little
versions,
more
but
Japanese. But there was actually a labor problem where the people growing and taking care of the tea was starting to age because they
Yeah.
weren't getting their younger generation into it as they used to be able to.
That's a huge thing. There's a writer I like, Craig Maude. He's an American, but he lives in Japan.
Yeah.
He wrote a book called Kisa by Kisa, which
Mm-hmm.
are these, like, there's coffee houses. They have very limited menus. They do have coffee, but they're all dying out. Like,
Yeah.
Because the kids,
Or no
like,
longer
all the owners
interested.
are 80 years old, and none of
Yeah.
the kids want to be involved because they tend not to be in Tokyo. They tend to be on, like, little country roads connecting different towns.
Yeah,
like,
and that's the thing.
they're disappearing.
You see it more with the smaller villages because the younger generation is just not staying there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Younger generations always want to rebel by older generations. That's just a fact of life.
Wait, say that again, what?
Younger generations just always want to rebel against the older generations. It's just a fact of life. It always happens. But I don't know. They still like use the cultures and use the trends. It's just in a different way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which we are in a fastly evolving world right now.
Yeah.
Like ever since the creation of the internet.
Yeah.
Things are
Absolutely.
moving a little faster than they used to.
Even before that, I mean,
Yeah.
I think if you were to talk to somebody in the hundreds and say, hey, in 300 years, there's going to be the printing press.
Yeah.
They would, like, their mind
Yeah,
would
and
blow.
go as far back as to the Industrial
Yeah.
Revolution
Yeah.
just to see that, like,
Yeah.
slowly speed up, for
Yeah.
sure. I think there is a lot more differences with this generation from, like, the early, like, 1900s versus saying the 1800s to the 1400s. Like, it's been a little more condensed.
Yeah. So how do people connect differently with tea than with the other popular American drink, coffee?
I'm not quite sure on this one. There's a lot of nuances in it. Some people I am not a person who is deeply into coffee. I know there are people who get really into coffee, and I am not one of those people, so I'm not speaking from them. But as like a casual enjoyer of coffee versus a casual enjoyer of tea, I feel like it's relatively on the same level of like how they enjoy it and how they partake.
I will say, I feel like there is an American culture connected to coffee, especially in workplaces, that, I need my coffee to be able to function throughout the day, get going.
There's no
and
mis-
there's always, you're a
Yeah.
lot more likely in offices or in places where you...
Place where you work, retail.
The place with all, like, the food and drink in offices.
Like the
Cafeterias and
The
stuff?
lunchroom. the
Lunchrooms, break rooms. That's
Thank
break
you.
room. Thank you. Total brain
Clean
blank.
space.
Break rooms are a lot more likely to have coffee in
Yeah.
them than
Yeah.
anything for tea. And if they do have tea stuff, it's normally just tea bags.
Sure.
I have a lot of customers who are regulars that will come in a few times a week that work in offices. And they come in during their lunch breaks
Yeah.
to get drinks because they're like, there is only coffee in my office.
Right.
So I think it is a lot more accessible and a lot more common to get into coffee as an American.
It's just one of those things that's just like always there, so it's easy to get into.
Right.
Whereas with tea, you of course have like southern sweet tea, like that is very much a thing. Or you have people who just see tea as like a medical thing, almost like an aid. So it'll be like, I only drink tea when I'm sick or when I want to be sleepy,
Or
like
for digestion, or for
yeah,
some
like I only
medical
see it
reason.
medicinal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I only drink matcha because it's super good for me. And you're like, that's a good reason to drink matcha, but you should also be drinking matcha because it tastes good.
Yeah,
Enjoy
sure,
it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that come in and they're like, I need green tea. And I'm like, oh, what are you looking for? And they're like, whatever's healthiest.
Yeah.
Rather than whatever they're going to enjoy.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing I hadn't really thought about, though.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of the biggest clienteles, is people looking to get healthier with tea. And tea is healthy, don't get me wrong, we're not saying that. But I feel like having that approach for just drinking tea for health can be like negative
Or
sometimes.
it can be limiting.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't
that's
look
very
at
true.
it
that's
as
a
something
better
to
word.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I'll have people who come in with a list of herbs and they're like, I want this and this just because I read it up that these have these health benefits and I'm trying to solve this thing. Which you absolutely can do. We have a medicinal section in our menu.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit of a different view. I don't think people approach coffee quite the same way.
Definitely.
Or it's almost more of a habit.
Huh.
Or like really any other type of drink that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I want to ask the question again, like, how do you see people connect with tea? Just how do you see people connect with tea? It's almost interesting that what you said, that a lot of people come in and taste almost doesn't matter. It's this other thing that they see as a shiny object, but that taste isn't. Talk to me a little bit more about that. I find it so interesting.
That being said, there is a lot of people that do come in and they like the taste.
Yeah.
They love exploring the different flavors.
Yeah.
We have a lot for a reason,
Yeah.
even if it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
As far as like connecting with it,
It's such a person by person intimate experience on that. Because there are definitely people who just only drink it for health benefits and have no taste in that.
Yeah.
And then there are some people who drink tea every day just because it's part of the ritual and it's their favorite thing to drink.
Yeah.
And
but I will find I love the experience of people coming in to buy tea for other people and it being a real easy bonding point. Whereas I know they like tea, it's an easy thing I can get for them that I know they'll enjoy. It's like a safe move.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Me and my sister-in-law, one of our closer bonding points was how much she loves tea, and that finally got my brother to start drinking tea, which
Got
is a
it.
bit of a
Okay,
new
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
that
okay.
for the longest time he would only drink tea if he wasn't feeling well, but she opened him up to more of, you can do this just to enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's a major coffee drinker, like 4 shots of espresso into his drinks type of coffee drinker.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was a big thing. And now, like, when I send her tea, he has requests on the order as well.
And
So-
tea tends to be like a community thing a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Sharing a teapot with a friend or anything like that is just such a common experience.
Yeah, just sitting down and having tea people, or even still in that medicinal vein, I'll have people come in and they'll be like, oh, my daughter-in-law is having her first baby, so I'm getting her the new mother's tea.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome, yeah.
yeah, it can be very thoughtful.
My wife doesn't love tea.
Yeah.
But she loves going to tea.
Yeah,
Like during the
absolutely.
holidays?
Yeah, getting like the
And so, like,
snacks
yeah,
or like getting
yeah,
a little
totally,
fancy
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So, that's like one of our favorite things as a family in the holidays.
Definitely.
Is when we're in Chicago or wherever we are, to like go to a nice afternoon tea.
One of my favorite memories with having family come visit us was your now sister-in-law
Yeah.
and my mom were in town, and we went to Sister's Tea, who is unfortunately no longer open, but they did
Oh, where was that?
near something with a B.
It was far out.
Buckner.
Yeah,
They were out in
right.
Buckner. They were a pretty large place, but they did the
Yeah,
3-tiered snack trays,
Yeah.
bottomless teapots.
Yeah.
They had dress-ups.
Yeah.
It was a whole experience, and it was
Dress-up.
lovely.
Yeah, you gotta wear a fun fancy
So, you know,
hat.
you get the younger kids in,
didn't
and
know.
like
Oh, cool.
you're like, I don't really do that far.
How many people every month come in here asking for coffee?
A lot, but
Most are on the joking side.
yeah.
We are next to a laundromat, so though people just being
Oh,
like,
fair, yeah.
can I get a coffee?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Circle K has that.
I'm so sorry.
And I will say, there is a reason we don't carry coffee. We have some really delicate teas, and if they were stored next to coffee, they would start tasting like coffee. So if the options were having a wide range of teas or having teas and coffee, we chose the wide range of tea. There is a lot of local amazing businesses that do coffee.
Yep.
We are unfortunately not one of them.
Interesting, huh?
And tea and coffee, they are so similar. I know a lot of people view them as like on the same plane, but like they are also so vastly different because you have to do such different processes with them.
Yeah.
Like brewing tea and brewing coffee are completely different.
Yeah.
Like, I'll enjoy a cup of coffee, but I could not tell you how to properly brew
Delete
anything
that.
fancy.
She's not a coffee hater here.
I've never drank coffee in my
I
life.
drink coffee. What are you people doing? Coffee drinkers suck. Okay. It's a very vulnerable, brave moment. In this Thank you. I'm curious. I have to admit, so tea it's an intellectual thing for me, like the ritual.
Yeah.
But it's an emotive thing too. Part of that's the ritual, part of that's the taste, part of it's what you all said, like connecting with different cultures.
Yeah.
Talk to me about going back to the intellectual side of it. Talk to me about what books or articles are written about tea that are great, that you enjoy, that people could check out.
So there are a lot of books. Sadly, I don't have the names of any of them off the top of my head.
That one was amazing. That one was so good.
Wow, the one I read was like 2 months ago. So good. Yeah.
I do have one off the top of my head. When I was prepping to move here and like work at a tea business, there's this one book called 19 Lessons on Tea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
If you want to write that down, go
Yes,
for
I
it.
do.
Very good.
19 Lessons on Tea, which we do normally sell. I just do not have at the moment. I know. It is a very easy intro to just go over all the basics.
Yeah.
Like the different types of tea, what makes them different.
Yeah.
There's actually, I think Nicolette, my cousin,
Yeah, my sister.
is quoted or at least thanked in it.
Yes, she
that's
had
cool.
gave them some information about like how to brew tea and stuff like that. It's just like one of them.
And
So the
it's
people
not
who
too
are writing about 19 things about tea didn't know how to brew tea.
They knew how to brew tea, but you gotta consult the experts about it.
And
Okay.
different
Because you
people
know
are going to have
something
different
doesn't mean you're an
opinions,
expert.
you know?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
I think it's
fair,
better to
fair.
have multiple sources
That's
than just
okay.
be like,
Fair.
I know everything.
Fair
Yeah.
point. How do you brew tea? Okay, fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
You mentioned, I think, in our first question, you mentioned the ritual of it.
Yeah.
Away from the shop, just private.
Yeah.
Tell me about your rituals. What does tea mean to you? How do you celebrate it? How do you drink it? How do you brew it? What's your kind of process, your setup?
So on like my perfect day off, if
Yeah.
I have no obligations, I'm just sitting at home. I love to make tea like Gaiwan style. So it has like the full little cup and everything, the little lid, and you just make a bunch of brews of the same tea over and over again. I like to do this with like tung ting, a rolled oolong that you can steep if you're doing it Gaiwan style, like 15 times. It goes all day. It's ridiculous. But something about the process of just making the same cup of tea basically over and over again and noticing the small details in it and just being able to like just appreciate this full tea as what it is really good.
So tell us about the Gaiwan
Yeah,
process. I mean,
I think I have
I
one
use it a little
right
bit,
away.
but I'm not super...
Totally.
I'm
So
not super familiar with it.
Gaiwan is a really great way to brew tea.
Yeah.
It's the traditional Chinese way to like make tea and stuff like that. But it opens up the tea leaves to a much different experience than you would with brewing.
You gotta get a picture of this. This thing's
Yeah.
so cool. So now you're convincing me to take this on my trip.
Oh yes.
This is the travel set.
With the Gaiwans, you
Even
would
though
just
I got the tea bags.
You're like, I did the
Idiot.
easy
yeah,
one.
the easy one and the fancy one.
You're an idiot. You got tea bags for the Gaiwan.
So with the Gaiwan, since you put the tea directly in here and then put the tea, like the water on top, and you're just straining it from there, like you're just easily straining it.
Yeah.
So you're drinking it with tea leaves like still in the
Still
cup,
in the brew,
which
yeah.
is the best way to drink tea because you get the full bodied flavor of it and all the nuances of it.
If you ever order a sample cup in the shop, it's made in a Gaiwan.
Yeah.
Okay.
We brew it stronger than we normally recommend brewing tea,
Ah.
and you'll get a little bit of the leaf in the cup.
Just-
So you get the truest flavor.
Yeah.
Just hooking with the caffeine. Come on back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you're supposed to use a heaping teaspoon for every 8 ounces of water.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
our sample cups, we use a heaping teaspoon for every 5 ounces.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like
Yeah, it's not
insane
crazy.
It's just a
amount,
little bit
but
more. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You can get the real like depth of flavor.
Yeah,
that
no.
way.
This Ted, I have this set.
Yeah.
I'm not making a pitch. I love carrying this set around. It's just so cute.
This is the one I use at my
Yeah,
own house too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
this
I really
set.
like the glaze on it.
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
satisfying.
I mean, it's
Not to be all product placement, but
Yeah.
it is wonderful.
yeah. I mean,
I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying it's good.
Yeah, totally. You all do have I just bought one, but you all do have a few bag teas.
Yeah.
But they're your loose leaf teas that you sell otherwise, just in a bag.
Yeah.
Like,
so
do you all drink the Globo brand?
I'm gonna be
Like-
real. I only drink RT. The only time I don't drink RT is if I'm like out at a restaurant or something and I just order a cup of tea with my
Yeah.
meal. If I'm at a sushi restaurant, I'm gonna drink
So wait,
tea.
will you have loose leaf tea from another tea purveyor somewhere in the world or whatever?
Sometimes, yeah. If someone gives me like a specialty tea, absolutely,
Yeah, okay,
I will
yeah,
drink
yeah.
it. If I'm traveling, I like to visit like other tea spots
sure,
and shops I am. But like on my day to day, I like
day-to-day.
basically only drink
Yeah,
coffee.
same.
It is rare that I drink other
Yeah.
teas. One of the lovely things about working in a tea shop is people will be like, oh, I traveled to this country, I brought some tea back, do you want to try it?
Sure, yeah,
And
okay.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
It's also just getting samples from our suppliers where
Yeah.
we get to taste a wide range of stuff is always fun.
But it's not like you like secretly in the back you're down like a McDonald's sweet tea or
No.
Bigelow or like,
We will have the occasional like Arizona like ginseng tea, but I
Yeah.
feel like that's
Okay.
almost more on like the juice line.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, like I was drinking one when I came into work this morning, but the can's still over there. But yeah, that's just like something it feels different than tea to me. It feels
Sure.
like a more like different type of drink.
Yeah, that's why I'm like I almost put it more in the juice.
Yeah, I
category.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And Nicholas and Nicolette,
Yeah.
Nick and Nicolette have a couple other shops in Florida.
Totally.
So besides here and the place in Florida,
Thank you.
where you mentioned traveling around and trying
Yeah.
other places, what's your
So,
single favorite place to go?
Sadly, we have not left America. That is something I want to do in my life and travel and taste teas outside of the country.
Being
Yeah.
able to have freshly picked tea off of like a Japanese tea growing area would be amazing. That's a
Literal dream and stuff like that. But within America, if we just happen to be traveling to a city, we're originally from Phoenix, Arizona, so every time I'm in Phoenix, I like to just see the tea shops that happen to be in Phoenix, get a cup of tea out, visit my family or something like that. And just, I don't know, it's fun to see what's out and available.
Yeah.
In other states, I do really like going to tea houses
Yeah.
or more.
What's your very favorite one?
Speaking of Phoenix specifically, or just Arizona, I am a coffee bean and tea leaf fan.
Okay.
They are obviously like a coffee shop, but they also have a really nice selection of loose leaf teas.
Oh, cool.
It's where like my brother and my sister-in-law go a lot. So if that's where I'm
Yeah.
like, I have a matcha craving and I'm in
Yeah.
Arizona, it's my go-to because I
cool.
know they'll actually give me something good.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of the funny parts about going to like different tea shops around is that I am so intimately familiar with the wholesalers that are with tea.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking at other people's menu and I'm like, I know exactly where you buy your tea from and I know exactly what tea I'm getting because I sell it.
I know the company, I know its official wholesale name,
Yeah.
and all its ingredients.
So sometimes when I go to tea shops, it doesn't feel like a new experience because I already know all of their teas because we sell their teas.
So it's more just like, which tea am I familiar with that I want to drink?
Yeah.
That's here.
Okay.
The last tea shop I went to in Arizona, I got a tea that we sell on our menu because I was like,
interesting.
oh,
Okay.
that just sounds really good right
I think
now.
that might have been like a Rishi tea. Or something.
Yeah.
All right, so we've done the nice questions. Tell me about the tea mafia.
Okay.
The wholesalers, the cement baths, the
The sketchy stuff.
sketchy side of the
The
tea
backdoor
industry.
deals.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's not that sketchy
Oh,
or
come on.
anything.
I know it's
I
there.
hate
I
to
know.
disappoint you. I'm not secretly buying tea from someone at the back door.
The bricks of $1,000 bills hidden in tea. I know they exist. Come on.
The sketchiest thing we have to do is give money to people in Japan because we're getting fresh tea from Japan.
It is sometimes a commitment to get a big order from Japan because
Yeah.
we have to do the money wire transfer and get a big pallet of it, like one giant order.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, we work with a dozen different main suppliers
Yeah.
and a few specialty suppliers.
Like all of our exceptionally rare tea samplers, sampler teas, those people we only contact them for those specialties.
And those companies normally work
Pick up the
with
phone. It's time.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of
really hectic.
a lot of the exceptionally rare teas are small batch, or they
Yeah,
come from
yeah.
companies who only do hand picking.
Yeah.
They have a limited quantity.
Yeah.
That's why if a tea is in the exceptionally rare sampler, it's rare we will ever be able to get a hold of it again.
Yeah.
I know there was a tea you were looking for a long time that we were not. I think it was one of the yellow teas, right?
I think that's right.
yeah, that we
yeah.
could never get again.
Right.
Yeah,
we
'cause
tried.
It's just, literally impossible. That tea can never be recreated.
One time I was at a tea expo and I had a Colombian white tea, and it is the sweetest natural
Yeah.
tea I've ever had while
Ah.
still being delicate and light,
Ah.
and we can no longer
I
find it.
still think about this tea too, honestly.
years.
It was a really good tea.
Oh, we had. That's another
I
hard thing.
still think
We've
that-
had teas.
That's awesome. That's great.
What was the Hunan dark tea?
Oh, yes.
Was that what year was that?
I think it was a 2007.
So we had a 2007 Hunan dark tea
Yeah.
that had natural buttery caramel notes.
Oh, nice.
And I would drink that as often as I felt comfortable doing for it being such an exceptionally special tea. And we had it the first 2 years I was here. We sold out, and we can now never get it again. And it is probably my favorite tea I've ever had.
Yeah. Tea
Yeah.
is definitely one of those things that gets
Yeah.
better with aged. Aged
Right.
tea is a very big thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you get something that's aged from a specific year, you're never going to be able to get that tea again. It's
Yeah.
aged from that specific year.
These logs over here are from 2012. So I'll actually open this up
How
for
have
you.
you never found a way to sell one of those to me?
Have you never seen this?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. No.
So this is an aged tea from 2012. It's wrapped in bamboo. It gets more expensive with age because it is actively aging. As
Yeah.
It sits in here.
So it does price
This is
increase
also-
every year.
So what is that? What's that right
The
now?
same thing.
Right now,
Whoa.
I believe this one is 150, and this
It might
one
be more actually. It's 65 for the little one.
It's 65
Whoa.
for the little one.
We sold
Whoa.
a couple of
Yeah.
the little ones. We had a customer who was drinking it on the regular, and they said it lasted them about a year.
How much is that thing gonna last you?
I'm gonna double check this price for you.
That's the
I
9
think it's
pounds of
like
popcorn.
over-
I get.
And we have sold one of these,
Like,
I
I'm-
promise you.
Like, I'm
But
done. No more popcorn, Mom.
Ever.
Yeah.
But they will last maybe, depending on if you're drinking tea daily and how much you're drinking tea, maybe
Yeah.
about 3 years.
The large
wow.
one is currently 285.
Yeah.
Wow. But that. So if somebody buys that today,
Yeah.
that will actually be better at the end in 3 years than it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
If you store it properly,
You
too.
store
Of
it-
course,
okay.
if something happens to
Yeah,
it.
sure. Yeah.
Mostly, you just need to make sure it doesn't get exposed to moisture.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that we would recommend, that you piece off a chunk of it and then seal it back up and make
Yeah,
it
sure. Yeah.
again.
I've had one brick of tea before. I
Yeah.
went for a place in South Carolina.
Yeah, totally.
And
Which-
it was super annoying. I did not like that experience.
That is fair.
It
You
is
do need like a hammer and a
little
chisel.
involved.
Totally,
There's
yeah. And I
also-
kept thinking I was gonna break my hand. Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cheese or something, though.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like the full wheel.
Okay, so what is the all right? The dirty secret in the restaurant business is like all the sea bass is like bluegill from Kentucky lakes.
Yeah, they just lie about what type of fish it is.
Absolutely.
What is the sea bass of the tea world?
Okay, so I guess it would technically be China Keeman, but it doesn't feel like a
Yeah.
dirty secret because we do openly tell people about this. We are pretty honest as a company
This is
about
sea-
our
this
dirty
is sea
secrets.
bass. Don't have the
Exactly.
sea bass. Don't have the fillet of fish.
Yeah, we are pretty straightforward with people about this, but China Keeman is a very standard black tea.
Okay.
It's nothing too unique to its flavor on its own. It's gonna be, I think it's our cheapest black tea at the moment.
Yeah.
It is the base of a lot of flavored black teas.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that's
Okay,
the,
that-
yeah.
Okay.
So like, this isn't like a tea that you would really want to drink by itself too much, but like, I know you're a big fan of Kentucky Morning. This is what Kentucky
The base.
Morning
Okay. Yeah.
has.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
A
It
lot of
just
teas we
adds
mix has
to
this.
flavors really well.
Yeah. So it's a like good base to add on top of. I gotcha. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right.
And then the other like dirty secret that we have, but again, we are very open about this. We tell people
I didn't even
about
ask
it
this
all the
question. This
time.
is them talking. Go for it. Yes.
Is the milky oolong controversy?
yeah.
Milky oolong is a fake tea. It like is obviously like a real tea.
honest about
We are honest about this. We are very upfront about it.
What is it?
But
What's that
milky
called?
oolong
It's not-
and milk oolong are two different things. This is a real milk oolong. It gets its taste naturally. It has that creaminess. It tastes like milk. When you steep it several times, it gets milkier.
Milky,
It
okay,
gets
yeah.
better. Milky oolong is not that. It has added like
like
things
It's
to make it-
artificial.
Yeah.
It's
like-
been steamed with milk to give you that milky taste.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
first
okay.
couple steeps have the strongest milk taste, and it goes
Oh, it goes
away
down.
with
Yeah,
multiple uses.
instead of like a true milk that
Oh,
will like
interesting,
go
huh.
up with it.
So I get a lot of people who come in and they're like, "Oh, milky oolong, it's awesome. I want that." I'm like, "Yeah, you can totally do that." Do you know that we have a true milk oolong though?
Yeah.
Which currently is our Jin Chuan Jade.
Got it.
If
Okay.
you're
Wow.
Wondering how to say that.
All the
And that's why it's called a milky oolong, not a milk
milk
oolong.
oolong.
Because milk oolong's the real thing. Milky oolong's the fake one.
Yeah.
And again, we
It's
are
just- it's
very open
artificial.
about this. I want to tell people that we are not lying to you. We just have a fake one.
So what is just the last few questions, what's the best or the cool, let me rephrase this. What is something you all know about the world or life by owning a tea shop, by being so immersed in this world that me and my readers, because we're not in this world, we don't know?
That's so hard because I'm so immersed in it. I don't know what you don't know.
Let's assume I know nothing.
Okay.
I don't know. That's broad.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite thing about being involved in the tea world and having a tea shop and getting to interact with people in a retail environment, but a highly specialized, unique one? How about that?
I feel like I might be reiterating this, like I might have already said it earlier, But the communal aspect, you get like an immediate connection with people because you already have this shared interest.
And I feel like tea can be such a niche interest when you find someone who also really likes tea. You like just want to
It's
talk
a strong
about tea.
connection immediately. Whereas I feel like comparing it to coffee, it's so broad.
Like
You're not going to find similarities with people just because you both
Everybody's
like
at
coffee.
Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh wow, you drank a cup of coffee this
Yeah,
morning.
great.
But I feel like I drink a cup of tea this morning. Like, ooh, a tea.
And
Yeah.
I love when someone's, I'm traveling out of state. I'm here from Washington for business.
Yeah.
And they're just so excited to see new tea stuff.
Yeah.
And like someone that cares about tea and is excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to it and you could be excited about different aspects of it.
And I know that one of the things that people come in a lot of the times, they ask, like, what is the right way to brew tea? And we have an answer for you. We can tell you how to brew tea.
We have our standard. I tell people the general rule of thumb, keeping teaspoon per 8 ounces of water.
Yeah.
But
There's so many different ways to
But
make
what do you
tea.
tell special people like me? That's the real right way.
First of all, it depends on the tea.
it does.
And it also depends on what culture you're entering. I think.
Yes.
So we have a lot of people who were born in India and then moved here or something.
Okay.
And they're looking for a specific tea
Okay,
to
I got you.
replicate
Alright.
what they do it.
Yeah.
How they will brew their Indian chai is not how I would recommend a person who make Indian
that's
chai.
right.
Yeah,
because they already know how to do it. They've done it their whole life.
Like a classic traditional Indian way of making masala chai is like putting the spices and the black tea on the stove with milk and brewing it in milk and
Yeah,
then
interesting,
straining
yeah.
it out. And with what we tell people,
Huh.
letting the black tea sit in hot liquid for that long will actually release a lot of tannins and make it really
Yeah.
bitter, but that's a part of the process. They like a lot of our Indian teas are on the much stronger side
yeah. Mm-hmm.
because that's just more of the palate.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of English tea drinking comes from Indian teas where they have a really strong dark tea base, and that's why you'll see it's a little more traditional in England to put a lot of milk and sugar in it. Balance out that strength. And that's why we have
Sure,
some
yeah,
black
yeah,
teas
yeah,
that I
yeah.
would not recommend putting milk and sugar in because it's just going to taste like watery milk and sugar.
Water, milk, yeah.
If it's not a strong enough base.
Right,
Because
right.
people definitely look at tea and they're like, oh, I'm going to do it like the right way and then put milk into it. You're like, you're drinking a jasmine green. Why are you putting milk in that? That's not the right
Like, that's
way. Yeah, like you can that, but sure.
But then you can talk to
Yeah.
people who are familiar with Gong Fu style, and it's, you brew a tea for 10 to 30 seconds, and you do that 6 times.
Right.
And that's such a very different method than what we normally tell people.
Sure, yeah.
So that's why I don't like saying there's any hard or fast, this is right or this is wrong.
Right.
I'll have people come in and they'll be like, I'm getting these teas. What sweetener would you recommend with them? And I really think that is personal preference.
Yeah.
You're the one drinking it. You should enjoy it. You should make it and enjoy it how you do.
Yeah.
And a
rather
big
than
one
me.
that I feel, a big one that we feel like I have to mention a lot is that we have like end steep times on all things. So it's like
Yeah.
steep it 3 to 5
minutes,
minutes.
yeah.
Don't go over the 5 minutes, else it's gonna get bitter.
Right, yeah.
Some people like the bitter tea.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
right,
tell you
right,
to,
right.
if you don't like it, you're drinking tea
Right.
wrong. If you want to steep
Yeah.
it 7 minutes because you like
Whereas,
the
like,
astringency,
I probably
go for
steam
it.
my stuff less than 3 minutes.
Absolutely,
It's
and there's
like-
nothing wrong with that either.
It gets too powerful for me. And,
Yeah.
like, it's no,
Absolutely.
no good. Yeah.
Drink it how you enjoy. That also goes into, I say a teaspoon for every 8 ounces. I make my tea strong.
I make my
I'll
soda
use
strong.
a 12-ounce cup and put 2 teaspoons in it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, like all cups. When we make cups teas for regular customers, we add 2 teaspoons in these. Every time I make tea for myself, I add 3 teaspoons in here, just because I like my tea strong. I want the added flavor in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
if I'm doing something if I'm making a tea for a health benefit, it wouldn't be wild for me to put 6 teaspoons in there.
Yeah, I have absolutely made a cup this size that has 8 teaspoons of tea in it. But I've also made a cup this size that has 1 teaspoon in tea.
This is why you can be energetic.
Exactly. This is why we have
Yeah,
so
I'm
much
like-
energy.
I gotta go to bed in an hour, man. Like,
And personally, when I brew a lot of caffeine frees, most of our caffeine frees don't overbrew.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah,
labels
right,
will say
okay,
5+ minutes on.
Right, yeah.
So if I use our make your own tea bags,
Then-
I'll just tie them off
Yeah, okay.
and leave them in the cup.
Yeah.
I have people who come in and ask me to do that with their black teas, which I would never personally do, but it's how they prefer it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. If
Yeah.
you're enjoying tea,
You're the one
enjoying
drinking
tea.
Right, yeah. I'm just curious. What's your all's favorite book? What's your favorite book? Just period.
I'm actually a very big reader. I
Yeah.
read books basically every day.
Yeah.
And asking my favorite book is like asking my favorite tea. I do not have one.
I will just
What's your
ramble
favorite
about
What's
several.
your
Yeah.
favorite 30 then?
Exactly. Okay. So,
recent.
my favorite recent book, I think my favorite book that I had read recently is either Song of Achilles or Iron Widow, just because I've read them in the past month. So I'm like, they're my favorite book right now. That will change next month. I will have a new favorite book, just like I'll have a new favorite tea next month. But yeah, I don't know. It also just depends on my mood, because my favorite fantasy book is nothing like my favorite romance book. My favorite romance book is nothing like my favorite sci-fi book.
Or just ones with like
presumably.
childhood nostalgia.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your favorite romance book?
What is my favorite romance book? My favorite romance book also has fantasy in it, so,
Yeah.
so it doesn't
Quite
count. Yeah, I'm not gonna count those.
I mean, but I thought that was the point of romance.
Exactly.
I know, but like you don't read much straight romance.
I don't
though.
read too much straight romance.
Yeah.
No, that tends to be my least favorite genre. But that's why my favorite one in that genre is
Is,
not comparable to my favorite
not
of my favorite genre.
I thought you were going to pull out a Danielle Steele. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Wait, what about you?
So I have a very different answer because what I consider as my basic, here's my favorite book answer,
Yeah.
I first read in 6th grade.
Yes.
I was like 12. The Giver by Lois Lowry.
Huh.
It was one of those books that just really... I read a lot when I was younger, like speaking like 4th grade and younger,
Yeah.
and then had a bit of a lull where I didn't. And then in 6th grade we did reading programs, and I picked this one up, and I was so like invested in it.
Yeah.
I wrote a book report like twice as long as it needed to be
Yeah.
because
Whoa.
I like
Whoa.
was so enthusiastic
That's
about
awesome.
it.
Yeah, that's good.
And I actually own a few copies of it because I have some like special versions of it, and I haven't even read it in years, but it still has a place in my heart.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have to say that.
Multiple versions of books. Totally underrated. It's amazing.
Oh, I do it too, honestly. I have fancy editions, and then I have copies that I actually read, because I don't want to read my fancy edition.
No, that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, if I have a
yes.
signed copy of a book, I have a trash version of
Yeah,
it too.
I'm not gonna read that signed version.
That's not getting thrown in my backpack when I
Yeah,
travel.
totally,
It's
yeah.
very different.
Yeah, I've got like 10 versions of the Iliad.
Yeah.
10 versions of the Odyssey. and
I
I'm
have like 4 versions of the
yeah, and
Iliad.
I'm like, I want to see different translations, different
Yeah.
covers. Like,
Sophia's brother, my cousin, actually does bookbinding.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we've
okay.
gotten gifts
Oh,
that
that's
are
awesome,
just
yeah.
very fancy
That's
versions
awesome.
of books.
oh, that's awesome.
No, but yeah, we both love to read. I think together we have over 600 books at our
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Very big
There's
readers.
currently 5-shelf bookshelves in
Yeah.
our house. It's pretty intense.
Yeah,
There you go.
and we read. I like to read basically everything too. I'll read comics. I'll read whatever I can get my hands on.
I feel like if we are talking about books, I have to give a shout out to Percy Jackson, which again is a kid's series.
Yeah,
but
I read it when I was 12, and I still love it. Yeah, it's like I have the feelings about Percy Jackson the way that I know a lot of people have feelings about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's just such a big part of my childhood,
Yeah,
and such a
totally
big
mine.
part of like why I love reading that I
got
can't
me-
not love reading it.
it got me super into mythology, like not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
Greek mythology.
yeah.
6th grade was also around the time that we started doing a bunch of world history.
Yep.
So we were looking into different mythologies. That when I got to high school, I actually took a whole course just about different world mythologies.
Cool, yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm like, I still love to look into
Yeah.
that.
No, I just own mythology textbooks because they're just really fun to read, and Percy Jackson
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what
totally,
got
yeah.
me into
Yeah, totally,
that.
yeah, right.
I'm not huge into like nonfiction books. It's rare that I pick one up, but mythology got me into a lot more of the
Yeah, it's
like
very
world
cool, yeah.
history and culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ignorant coffee drinkers. It's been awesome, you all. I appreciate it. Thank you all
No,
so much.
thank
This is
you.
awesome.
No,
was so
this
much
was
fun.
great. I'm so happy we
This was so
did
much fun.
this.
This is very enjoyable.
Bye.
Bye.